Saturday afternoon from New York. We welcome you from Citi Field, the home of the Mets. And this afternoon, it's the Brew Crew and the Mets Game 2 of this 3-game series. And we got a couple of leaders to look at today. Jonathan Villar is the stolen base leader in the National League. After a bag last night, he's stolen 14. And Chris Carter continues to hit the home run ball. He is second in the National League starting play today. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Citi Field in New York. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Brian Anderson. We'll hear from Sophia Minard in just a moment. Well, Chris Carter's been a story without Ryan Braun in the lineup. He's putting together a terrific month of May. He's hit more home runs in the month of May than any other player in the National League. And he's showing the fact that he's playing every day that he can be a real power threat and maybe a 40 home run threat in this league.
Well, and again, I mean, the Brewers pick him up to provide a little home run power, and he's given him a lot of home run power. He has been everything and more that the Brewers thought they were going to get. I mean, the offense has been there for sure. If he's able to stay healthy and be consistent, you can put up with the strikeouts with Chris Carter. He's going to strike out quite a bit. He's going to go through stretches where he's not getting home runs, but he gets them in bunches. You can see what he's been able to do this month, and he got off to a slow start this month. 8 home runs, 16 RBIs. And when you extrapolate a little bit of his numbers, I mean, he's on pace for, as you said, almost 45 to 50 home runs and near 120 RBIs. And that's exactly what the Brewers figured they were going to get, and he's been delivering just about every day.
Extrapolate, big time word.
Extrapolate,
right
you got to use the algorithms in order to do that.
Well done, sir. Well, Ryan Braun's been a story. He's been out of the lineup, going to miss the start again today. He's missed 6 of the last 7. But there is good news, and for that we check in with more from Sophia Minard. Good afternoon, Sophia.
Hi, BA. Yes, you're right. Ryan Braun will be missing 6 of the last 7. This is his 4th straight dealing with that back tightness. But manager Craig Counsell said before the game that things are going in the right direction for Braun despite him not being in the starting lineup. And the biggest indication of that was that Braun was on the field today for batting practice in one of the later rounds, something that we have not seen Braun do over the last few days. So Counsell saying that Braun came in today feeling better than what he has over the last few days. Things are going in the right direction. And there is a chance that he could be available off the bench today to pinch hit, and he still has not been ruled out for this weekend series. Craig Counsell saying that if he shows up tomorrow, good to go, then Braun will be in the lineup. Again, the team will have the off day on Monday, so there's a chance that Braun will get some extra time to recover as well. So Braun will not be in the lineup, and this Brewers will have the tough task of facing Jacob deGrom after Steven Matz shut them down last night. When we come back, we're getting closer to first pitch. We'll see how the Brewers fare against Jacob deGrom and the Mets here today, Game 2 at Citi Field.
Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. By your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places. And by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. Overcast Saturday afternoon here in Flushing, Queens, New York, and we are just about ready for today's first pitch. Zach Davies on the mound for the Milwaukee Brewers, the 23-year-old coming off one of his best starts of the season, and he is going to match up against one of the game's best right-handers in Jacob deGrom, the former Rookie of the Year for the New York Mets. So far against the Brewers in his career in 4 starts, he has been a handful. 3 wins in those 4 starts and a sparkling ERA of 1.38. Former Met Kirk Neuenhuis and company ready to match up against New York. It's game 2 of the series. We got the lineups in the first pitch coming up next. Jacob deGrom hits the field in the home whites, and the New York Mets and the Milwaukee Brewers today on Fox Sports Wisconsin. Off to a good start this year is deGrom. Brewers baseball and Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Spend the night with luxury. 63 degrees and no rain as of right now. If it does rain, it is thought that it won't be enough to affect the game at all. That was a much different story yesterday about this time when they were calling for major showers. So we dodged a bullet there as far as the weather goes. Craig Counsell, year number 2 as the Milwaukee Brewers skipper. The Brewers come in with a record of 18-24, a 3-2 loss last night, comeback win for the Mets. And let's take a look at Counsell's Potawatomi batting order. He's got Jonathan Villar, the league's leader in steals. He leads off with Scooter Gennett, then Jonathan Lucroy to follow. Middle of the order is Chris Carter, Kirk Neuenhuis, and Aaron Hill. And then Alex Presley, Ramon Flores, and Zach Davies round out the Brewers starting 9. And Rock, it's going to be Jacob deGrom. We showed you the numbers. He's been tough on the Brewers in his career, and he's off to a good start in this 2016 season.
Yeah, he's tough on everybody. He won his first 3 starts, and since that time, his last 3, a couple of no decisions and a loss. But deGrom making his first start since the end of April here at Citi Field. His last 3 have been on the road. Last time out, a no decision against the Rockies, 6 1/3. 4 hits, 3 earned runs for Jacob deGrom. Let's check out the Menards Mets defense today got a couple of changes. You got David Wright over at third base. He did not start in last night's ball game. Kevin Plawecki behind home plate. And Eric Campbell, who played third yesterday, he's over at first base. Your Mets defense, they're pretty good defensively.
And there is the captain, David Wright, back on the field. We're ready to go today, and it's Jacob deGrom. His first pitch is in there for a strike on VR, and off we go from Citi Field in Queens. Great to have you with us here this afternoon. Brewers and the Mets matching up for the second game in this series. The Brewers will conclude this series tomorrow afternoon, and another horse on the mound for New York, as they'll send up Noah Syndergaard for the finale. Last night it was Steven Matz. He pitched very well across 7 innings, the left-hander, and Syndergaard gets the ball tomorrow. And this very talented young New York Mets starting rotation. deGrom likes to work quickly, and he's got a good fastball going early, already in the mid-90s.
Yeah, they say his velocity down a little bit, but he's a battler out there. He'll work through some problems if he has them.
Jonathan VR lines one into right field, a base hit, and thinking about 2, he's on his way. Jonathan VR starts it with a bang here today, and now the ball gets loose. VR says, I'll stay right here, thank you. So it's a leadoff double for VR. He just continues to hit. This guy, aside from a few base running blunders, Rock, he has been so impressive.
Yeah, it looked like a changeup that VR got down on the end of the bat, but on base percentage has been very good. Leads the team in walks, on base percentage very high, and he can run. And he has been a shot in the arm for this offense, and he's playing just about every day. He hasn't taken too many days off.
He is enjoying the playing time. Coming to the Brewers from the Astros. So double number 12 for VR, and quickly into scoring position to start it for Scooter Gennett. Not a whole lot of experience against deGrom for the Brewers. Ryan Braun has the most at-bats against Jacob deGrom. Braun, as Sophia reported, is out of the starting lineup again today, but hopeful to return tomorrow. You see Braun there with head athletic trainer Dan Wright. He's been spending a lot of time with Dan.
Unfortunately. Makes a big difference when Ryan Braun is in the lineup. And look, he was taking batting practice today. Looked pretty good. I think the Brewers may have dodged a bullet with respect to Braun. They were considering disabled list, but don't think that's going to happen at this point.
Missing his 6th game in the last 7 games on the schedule for the Brewers. So it's meant that Craig Counsell has to play a man short in his outfield. As Gennett with a big swing, count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. Scooter was hot to start the year. Has cooled off since he came back from injury. Had an oblique injury that shut him down for about 3 weeks. He's got VR at second base, and Gennett strikes out. So deGrom goes back to the fastball, Rock, and he gets his first out via a strikeout.
Yeah, best one of the innings so far, 95 miles an hour. The first couple at 94. Well, he gave up a base hit on a changeup, and he said, forget that for the time being. I'm just going to blow it right by these guys. And that one right down the middle of the plate, and Scooter underneath.
27-year-old Jacob deGrom won the Rookie of the Year in 2014, burst onto the scene with the Mets, and then he was an All-Star last year. And was he ever impressive at the All-Star game? Established himself as one of the young stars in the game last season. He took a loss in the World Series last year. Prior to that, in the Division Series and the Championship Series, he was 3-0, won 2 games in the Division Series, and then had a victory over the Cubs in the LCS. Yeah. So he took that extra step where he proved he could be a big game clutch postseason pitcher as well.
Yeah, after a very good season last year, 14-8 and a 254 earned run average. And he just has that look of determination out there on the mound.
Facing Jonathan Lucroy with VR at second. 1 man out in the first inning. We're just underway from Citi Field. Yesterday the Brewers struck early on Matz. They Got a hit from VR and then a 2-out, 2-run home run from Chris Carter. Unfortunately for Milwaukee, that was it. Brewers went an entire game yesterday, one of those rare statistical anomalies where they did not leave a runner on base. 0 lobs. Had very few base runners against Mats in the bullpen, Addison Reed and Jiris Familia, as the Mets won the game. Here's an 0-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lucroy comes in batting .298. Average dipped under 300 after yesterday. Lucroy caught all 13 innings of that extra inning game on Wednesday against the Cubs. And Thursday off, he was back at it last night and once again back in the starting lineup.
He didn't like taking too many days off, but Craig Counsell, after that long game, figured he was going to shut him down for a day, and back at it last night and today. Only 3 at-bats yesterday. You mentioned how good that pitching was for the Mets. After the first inning, the Mets pitching staff faced a minimum. And Brewers really didn't get much going after that first inning.
Now, Brewers had 1 base runner on a hit, but that was Hernan Perez, who was caught stealing. Lucroy punches one, shallow right field, on the run, over the shoulder, Campbell. Heck of a play by the first baseman. Eric Campbell getting the start today for Lucas Duda. I'm not sure Duda makes that play.
Yeah. Saw him over at third base. Made a nice play in the 9th inning last night at third, and let's see that slider off the outside corner. Luke Kirby hits a little bit further. It's a base hit and an RBI, but Campbell able to run it down right over the shoulder, never taking his eye off of it.
Good play.
Yeah.
Long way to go. He made an excellent play at third base yesterday. And he's been playing a lot. He's filling in for David Wright at third when he's out with the back problems, and then he's over at first today with Lucas Duda out. So here is Chris Carter. Very similar scenario as we had yesterday to start the game. Carter is up there with 2 outs and VR on base. He hit home run number 13 in the first inning yesterday, briefly tying him for the National League lead until Nolan Arenado hit one last night for the Rockies to regain that spot. So Arenado's hit 14, and then Carter with 13, tied with YOENIS CESPEDES, the Mets center fielder.
And it has been a very good month of May for Carter, even though he had an 0 for 23 stretch. He's still able to put up the numbers with the 8 homers.
Stands deep in the box against the hard-throwing DeGrom. 2 balls and a strike. They set up inside and tie him up. Perfectly placed fastball by DeGrom.
Yeah, he just can't get to that pitch. I mean, mid-90s. He's got a little bit of movement on it. Fastball, slider, curve, changeup, and got that one right by Chris Carter.
2-2 the count. VR with a big lead at second. And Carter able to lay off. Carter's home run yesterday came on a 2-2 pitch. Drove one to deep right center field. Only Chris Davis of the Oakland A's, the former Brewer, has hit more home runs in the month of May in the big leagues. Payoff pitch. Got him. Back upstairs with a fastball, and Carter is out. And DeGrom works around a leadoff double. We're off and running in New York. Mets are coming up. Off double, but they can't do anything with it. And here we go to the bottom of the first inning. The Mets are coming up. There's skipper Terry Collins. He'll be the manager of the All-Star team this year, representing the National League. Took his team to a World Series last year. His starting lineup, a lot of the same names. Curtis Granderson leads off with David Wright, then Michael Conforto. In the middle, it's Cespedes, Neil Walker, and Asdrubal Cabrera, with Eric Campbell, Kevin Plawecki, and Jacob deGrom rounding out the Potawatomi Mets batting order against 23-year-old right-hander Zach Davies, and he's trying to build off a very good start his last time out.
Yeah, 6 1/3, only 3 hits. He allowed 2 runs, and off to a slow start when he first came up, 0-3 in April, but 1-0 in the month of May. Last 3 starts have been pretty good.
Davies facing Curtis Granderson, and a long fly ball. That one is not coming back. Home run Granderson. And just like that, the Mets are on the board first. Number 8 for Granderson. It's a leadoff home run.
It looked like Granderson looking inside. Willie Peralta very effective on the inside corner in last night's ball game. So if you're the Mets, you're thinking inside. That's where it came, and Granderson knocked it out of the ballpark. Yeah, Davies doesn't throw hard, 90, 91 miles an hour. If he doesn't get it in there, that's what can happen. And knock the fastball out of here off the facade of the second deck.
Granderson has been a struggling hitter at the plate. He has had a rough month of May, but he's got him humming here in New York with a leadoff homer. 8 homers, 13 runs batted in now for the Mets leadoff batter. The Mets lead the National League in home runs, but they're middle of the pack in runs scored. It's an interesting anomaly with New York. As a matter of fact, over 55% of their runs have come via the homer. It's the highest percentage in the major leagues, as David Wright takes a called strike 3, and Davies comes back quickly for the punch out.
Yeah, the Mets came into action yesterday, 12th in the National League in runs scored. First in homers, but they're just a little over 200 with runners in scoring position. So it has been a rough year offensively for the Mets. The Mets are in the position that they're in. 5 games over 500 because of their terrific pitching staff, starters and relievers.
Here's Michael Conforto, very talented young hitter. And Conforto hits one hard to right field, turning is Flores. He can't make the play. And Conforto on his way to second, in with a double. Flores got turned around and right. And Conforto is in there with a 2-bagger with 1 out.
And you see the plan apparently against Zach Davies is attack early. So looked like ball had some hook on it, and Flores kind of spun himself around. That pitch right down the middle of the plate. And Conforto had a good day at the plate yesterday, a couple of hits and a home run. A line drive bullet over the head of Flores out in right field. Just didn't need a very good look at it. Should have been caught probably if he takes a good route, but it'll be a double.
So Davies hit hard early. The homer, the double, has 1 man out. And here's the hottest of the Mets hitters coming up in YOENIS Cespedes. Cespedes is among league leaders in most of the major offensive categories. Cespedes is tied for second in the league in homers with Chris Carter, 1 off the lead. His 33 runs batted in are 3rd best in the National League. And he leads the league in slugging percentage. .642 slugging percentage at this point. Liner, left field, foul. He hooked it.
And does a lot of his damage right where he just hit it in left field. Doesn't go to the opposite field too much for his home runs. Only 3 of his 13 home runs have not been pulled. Just the opposite of Chris Carter. Nice play.
Clearly foul, right in the pocket. Calmly made the play with the double flaps down. It's not easy to do.
No. Hiding behind the tarp.
0-2 the count to Cespedes. Back inside, and Davies misses.
It's good to see the cover for the tarp on the tarp. That's good news when you come to the ballpark.
That was the first thing we looked at today when we arrived here to Citi Field. Where is that thing? And it was in that position. They were calling for big rains, but that all died down last night. That front that came through here stayed south of Citi Field. There's a swing and a miss. Davies strikes him out on a changeup, a beauty.
Now let's check out the Menards Brewers defense for today. You got Presley, Neuenhuis, and Ramon Flores. Flores in right field. You got Hill, VR, GENNETT. GENNETT got yesterday off with the left-hander going for the Mets. Carter at first, and Jonathan Lucroy behind home plate.
Kirk Neuenhuis back at Citi Field, a place he is very comfortable. Received his National League Championship ring yesterday, just before the game started.
He and Torres got their rings.
Yeah, Carlos Torres and Neuenhuis on that Mets roster last year, and Neuenhuis said it's a great ring, it's beautiful, it's gaudy, it's not the one I wanted. The World Series ring is the goal, but it's the next best thing, and has very fond memories of playing on that World Series team last year.
And it comes in a box that lights up. Yeah. You said you open up the box and the light shines down on the ring.
Neil Walker, the former Pirate.
It's pretty big league.
First year with the Mets. They lost Daniel Murphy, who's now with the Washington Nationals and is the league leader in batting average. They replaced him with Neil Walker, switch hitter with some power. There's a strike. Scoring runs for the Mets is the story for them to start the season because of their great pitching. If they score at all, this is going to be a very successful team this year. They have a talented bullpen as well. But they've had 12 consecutive games now with 4 runs or less. It's the longest streak of the majors this year. As Walker waves and misses at an off-speed pitch, down he goes. 3 strikeouts for Davies, but he gives up 2 hits, including a leadoff home run by Granderson.
His bullpen, most notably Will Smith, this morning at Citi Field through a live batting practice for the first time. He said he simulated coming out of the bullpen, did 13 pitches, and then was full go from there. He faced 2 hitters, Colin Walsh and Keon Broxton. He said he felt great, was 100%, thought he had good location, so he continues to make good progress with that knee sprain. And Craig Counsell even played first base for that live batting practice. And we'll get more on Matt Garza and Corey Knebel as well.
All right, thanks a lot, Sophia. That is great news on Will Smith. You give him a lot of credit as we see Kirk Neuenhuis leading off this Brewer second inning. It's a lot to come back from. You think about his disposition in spring training and how down he was after it was really a freak accident. He tore a ligament in his knee taking off his shoe.
Yeah.
And to avoid surgery, Rock, and to be able to get to this point where there is a realistic goal in mind to return to the active roster. Good for him.
Yeah, things are going well in the controlled environment for Will Smith, and talking about just throwing off the mound and throwing to live hitters, but it's a little bit different situation once he starts getting into the pitcher's fielding practice, jumping off the mound and making quick throws to the bases. Those are the things Craig Counsell wants to see out of Will Smith before they get too excited, because those uncontrolled things that the pitcher has to do every time he's out there are the things that are most dangerous on that knee.
He's wearing a big knee brace, is Smith. And he said it's a little awkward, but he's getting used to it, and it feels stable. I think mentally that knee brace is really allowing him to progress because he feels like the knee is stable. He still has the injury, but he's trying to strengthen all around it to protect that injured knee.
Yeah, it was amazing in spring training when the news came out on that injury to Will Smith. It took the life out of the day at the ballpark because it was such an integral part of that bullpen. And then to top it off, it wasn't that far after that. There was Corey Knebel it was said that he wasn't going to be able to finish or start the season on the roster. Good slider that time from Jacob deGrom. He's got all of his pitches working for him today.
And he has 3 strikeouts to the first 5 batters faced. After that leadoff double by VR, it's been 4 in a row with 3 Ks.
Do a couple of change-ups to VR. VR got a double on one of them. Haven't seen one since. A backdoor slider on the outer half and gets him.
Here's Aaron Hill now playing third base today for the Brewers. We saw Hernan Perez at third yesterday. Hill coming to the Brewers from the Diamondbacks. He and Chase Anderson in that Gene Segura deal. It was a 5-player deal in all. The Brewers did acquire a very talented young shortstop who's an A-ball this year. He's actually in Wisconsin playing in Appleton for the Timber Rattlers. Isan Diaz is his name. And Gene Segura and Tyler Wagner both sent to the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, a lot of the players that the Brewers picked up on all the trades that started at the trading deadline last year down in the low minor leagues.
Well, as you said about Chris Carter, there were expectations bringing Chris Carter in as really the only free agent the Brewers signed, but the same goes for Aaron Hill. The veteran leadership, different kind of production on the field, but with so many young players and so many players you figure that are going to be moving in and out of the roster this year. David Stearns and Matt Arnold, the assistant GM, and Craig Counsell felt like they needed some pillars in the clubhouse, veteran guys who can perform on the field, Rock, but also teach the ways of the big leagues, and both high character guys like Chris Capuano and Aaron Hill and Chris Carter.
Yeah.
So far so good in that category.
That pretty much tells it all right there, that picture. You got Ken Broxton and Chris Carter, just what you're talking about. I'm going to say the young, but and the experience. I'm not talking old because Chris Carter's far from old,
right.
But he's been around a while, and it's not just the stuff that you have to learn in the major leagues on the field. It's off the field as well. And Ken Broxton's been a sponge. We saw that down in spring training.
Carter rarely changes expression. That's about all you get from him. As Hill fouls off another one. Good long at bat here for Aaron Hill. He's seen 8 in this at bat. Last night, no Brewer had an at bat of more than 5 pitches in that game. Remarkable. Mostly Steven Matz. The 9th pitch of the at bat, outside, ball 4, just missed. And what an at bat it is for Aaron Hill. He draws the walk, first walk for deGrom.
Yeah, he threw just about everything at him, including his changeup, and missed with a fastball, trying to catch that outside corner. You see Plawecki, and just misses it, not by much. Hit pitch number 9, so making him work.
Good call by home plate umpire Adrian Johnson. Plate duty today. Umpires look forward to that.
Their day in the sun, right?
Here's Alex Presley. He swings at the first pitch. He fouls it away. We were talking to Bruce Fleming the other day, the legendary umpire, Milwaukee native. He's always around Miller Park. He's still a supervisor with Major League Baseball. He said in the minor leagues there was a stretch he did 42 straight days behind the plate. Two-man crew.
Yeah, right.
And his partner got hurt, and he ended up working the plate 42 in a row. High concentration for the home plate umpire.
Yeah, and the streak was broken according to Bruce. New umpire came in, and it was a 23-inning game.
That's right.
The guy felt so bad the next day he couldn't umpire for a while, so he was right back at it.
He couldn't feel his legs.
So you think you're having a rough day, right? 42 straight games behind home plate.
Count is 0-2 on Alex Presley. I was giving Bruce a lot of credit. I go, you know, that just goes to show what a tough guy you are. 42 straight days. He goes, oh, that's nothing. Bill Clem, the Hall of Fame umpire,
right,
Major League Baseball umpire. Bill Clem, in the early days, did the plate 6 straight years. He was the home plate umpire for 6 years. Presley slaps one into left, and Conforto is there for the out.
Yeah, now you know why he's in the Hall of Fame.
Right. 2 gone in the inning. What is the umpire rotation? You know their rhythm when they go around. The plate day is like, for an umpire, is like the starting pitcher.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Start.
The guy get ready to get all their equipment on. They go from home plate to third. Third's kind of a rest day after working the plate. Then you move to second base, and then first base a little bit more active, getting yourself ready and groom yourself for that big day behind home plate.
Here's Ramon Flores taking strike 1. Ramon got a little turned around in right field, a double by Conforto. He is a rookie this year. Got a little time last season with the Yankees, and then was traded from New York to Seattle. Spent the rest of the season with the Mariners in the minor leagues. Brewers got him from the Mariners, trading away Luis Sardinas, the young shortstop they had acquired from the Rangers the year prior. And now Flores turns it around. That ball's pretty well hit. Back is Granderson, and he is out of room. It's a home run for Ramon Flores. Surprising power by Flores. His first home run of the season, and just like that, the Brewers take a 2-1 lead.
Yep, able to turn around a fastball from DeGrom, a 94-mile-an-hour heater. Up in the strike zone, able to center on it and knocked it out of here. And the Brewers now with a 2-1 lead.
What a moment for Ramon Flores, his first career home run.
And the silent treatment. Maddie can't stand it anymore. There you go. Good for him. Well, it's been a rough stretch for Flores, but able to come up with a 2-out big fly to give the Brewers a lead.
I think he'll be able to get that baseball back as well. Look at all those smiles. That's been something that has been talked about, as Flores is still waiting on his first career home run. And the silent treatment is always funny.
Yeah, pretty much down the middle, but up. You can see Plawecki raising that mitt to try and grab it, but Flores able to turn on it. Sounded good. Ball's carrying pretty well today. His carries a little bit better during the day in every ballpark, but that one carries out of here to right center.
Well, congratulations to Ramon Flores. Hopefully he'll get that ball back. It ended up in the Mets bullpen, so he should be able to retrieve that one. Just on the other side of the net. Keeps Davies alive.
You just hope the Mets are good sports.
Sure they will.
Hold on to it.
It's a kinder, gentler game.
It is. The Brewers bullpen is just to the right of that, right? So maybe Marcus Hanel doing a little campaigning.
Right down the middle to end the inning. So a strikeout for DeGrom, but not before Ramon Flores comes up with a major league first. First trip around the bases in a long ball. 2-run shot gives the Brewers a 2-1 lead. Yeah, they love it on that Brewers bench.
Brewers a 2-1 lead as we head to the Mets half of the second inning. We talked about how good Zach Davies was his last time out against the San Diego Padres at Miller Park. 6 1/3, 3 hits, 2 runs, and really was using all 4 quadrants of the strike zone extremely well. Up and away, up and in. He was down and in and down and away extremely well. And when you can command your fastball and your breaking pitches like that, you're going to have a good day. Now, there are days when a pitcher goes out there and can really only control one side of the plate, whether it be away to a right-hander or into a right-hander. But in that particular case, Zach had everything going for him, and that's why he had such a good outing.
It was a no decision for Zach Davies, but it was a 3-2 Brewers win against San Diego. They earned a split in that series with the Padres. Davies giving up a run in the first. Curtis Granderson with a leadoff homer, but he struck out 3 batters in the first inning. Facing Asdrubal Cabrera to start the second. Cabrera, the switch hitting shortstop, the former Indian. Wilmer Flores on the disabled list for the Mets right now. Made headlines last year. Think about that whole scenario with Wilmer Flores possibly being traded to the Brewers. It was out there for everybody to talk about. It appears that the Mets changed their mind as Cabrera bounces to Carter for out number 1.
Everybody on the Brewers charter, when they heard that, was saying goodbye to Carlos Gomez, thinking he was going to New York. Flores to Milwaukee.
And we were watching that game on the plane and watching the SNY coverage, and Carlos Gomez is walking up and down the aisles of the plane saying bye to all of us. You know,
right,
hugs, and there was they were taking selfies, and it was a feel-good story. He's going back to the New York Mets, the team that had signed him. But then something switched in the mentality of the New York Mets front office, and I think the fact that YOENIS Cespedes suddenly became available, perhaps there was a poker face going on, but there was an about face, and in a few moments after that, they announced there was no trade. I thought the Mets tried to lay it on the media a little bit, but I think there were some leaks that were coming from elsewhere, not necessarily from the players themselves, but you never know how those things play out. As Campbell bounces to third, and there are 2 outs in the inning.
You mean you can't believe everything in social media?
I mean, for me, if I'm here as a cynic, I feel like it was the Mets who made sure that some of this information was getting out there. How else would anybody know about it?
Right. Somebody had to spill the beans, right?
And to the point where one organization, the Brewers, is officially telling the player that he's been traded, and we were all there on the plane as Gomez was informed by Craig Counsell. So whatever happened in that scenario, you got to think, what would the Mets have been without picking up YOENIS CESPEDES? It completely changed their season.
Right.
Now maybe Gomez has that kind of impact as well. You never know. Little tapper to the mound. Davies, a very good athlete, makes the play, and a good bounce back inning after surrendering a run in the first. Retires the side in order.
Pays to be a kid, partner. Every Sunday in Miller Park, kids 14 and under get a free hot dog, bottled water, bag of apple slices, and ice cream treat, courtesy of Pick and Save, Blue Bunny, and Heinz. To learn more, go to brewers.com/promotions. When doesn't it pay to be a kid?
Kids eat free. That sounds great in any scenario, especially at the ballpark. Top of the order for the Brew Crew, Jonathan Villar will lead off. He doubled his first time up, doubled down the right field line. Jacob deGrom has a very high pitch count already, 51 pitches as we get started here in the third inning. Zach Davies coming off a 10-pitch second inning, retiring the side in order. The all-important shutdown inning after your offense gives you some runs. Villar off the handle, out to left for Conforto, and out number 1.
Yeah, I don't think Villar is going to see another changeup today. Not for a strike anyway. Got in on his hands with that one. Brewers are going to be facing some pretty good hair next couple of days, today and tomorrow.
Oh, and pretty good pitching too, but pretty good hair.
Yeah, a lot of hair.
I think one goes with the other.
Yeah.
When you're on top of the game like these guys. There's the other hair story. Noah Syndergaard. Thor is the nickname.
And he can hit.
Yeah, hit 2 homers in a game recently. Syndergaard tomorrow for the finale of the series. The guy who's really struggling right now in this rotation is the guy that they expected to be one of the best, and that's Matt Harvey. coming back from Tommy John surgery, pushed it to the brink last year. Remember that highly publicized innings count?
He's 3 and 6. Earned run average almost at 6. That's amazing for that guy.
And the Mets are still third in the National League in ERA.
Yep, at 3.15 coming into play today.
GENNETT batting with 1 out. He struck out his last time up. First time through the batting order, DeGrom strikes out 4. A 2-run homer by Ramon Flores, though. First major league homer for Flores. And there's ball 4. So GENNETT is aboard. A 1-out walk. Second walk issued by DeGrom.
Sometimes these pitchers that haven't faced the Brewers yet this year, and particularly teams, have to be convinced that the Brewers are a much more patient attack. It's always been, you know, first pitch fastball swings and wild swings and pitches out of the strike zone. You don't see nearly as much of that these days with the Brewers. Got to throw them strikes for the most part.
Jonathan Lucroy with 1 away. A strike on the corner. A little breaking ball there from DeGrom. I say little, but he throws his slider in the upper 80s.
Yeah, he's got a cutter and a slider. It looked more like the cutter. He's got the slider that has a little bit more depth. It goes down as it gets to home plate.
Lucroy into center field, hit well, but Cespedes is there. Second out of the inning. And you don't dare run on Cespedes. GENNETT has to stay put. 2 men are gone. Still a runner at first for Chris Carter. Well, Carter homered here last night. He's homered in 3 of the last 5 games. Powerball home run count number 13 for Carter.
Pretty good month of May for Chris Carter. 8 homers, 16 RBIs. I did a little bit of calculations today.
Some ciphering.
Some extrapolating.
That pace, sets you back a little bit.
Yeah, on these, it was a lot of smoke all filled the booth. Smoke coming out of my ears.
Well, what'd you come up with? I'm excited
45,
to hear this.
50 home runs, around 115, 20 RBIs for Carter. On a pace 4, which is a phrase that I don't use a whole lot.
So Cespedes has a home run every 10.3 at-bats to lead the National League. Carter's right behind him. A home run every 11+ at-bats. It's never been a concern of the power. It's been, can Carter keep himself in the lineup enough? He's been in the American League his career. That ball is into center field, and it's going to fall. A base hit for Carter. Cespedes got a bit of a late break and was playing very deep. And Carter is aboard with a 2-out single.
Yeah, with 2 outs and a man at first base, you got to play deep. You want to cut off those gaps. The only thing that would score GENNETT when he's at first base is going to be an extra base hit. He gets it down on the trademark a little bit. And watch how far Cespedes has to go. You're right, he got a late break on it. And but able to keep it in front of him. A little risky play by Cespedes. If that gets by him, GENNETT's going to be able to score easily.
Now the Brewers with first and second now. They've had some 2-out success here in the last 2 innings. Flores' home run came with 2 away as Neuenhuis fouls it back. And back to Chris Carter, though, the fact that he's been in an American League setting, first with the A's, then with the Astros the last 3 years, there's always been that DH, first base, or just flat out on the bench. He hasn't had the everyday job, and I think he prefers to play the field, which means during the spring he had to get himself to the point where he was no liability at first base, and you got to give him a lot of credit.
I'll give Craig Counsell a lot of credit too, because he thinks that baseball has undervalued defense at first base. They were working every day early on, getting him ready to play first. Although he may not be a Gold Glover, he's done a very good job over there. He's been able to catch just about everything he can get to, and he's done a good job picking short hops.
Well, they call it paper ceilings, and I think many in baseball put that paper ceiling on Chris Carter, that he was just a hitter, just a power hitter. Brewers have not labeled him as such. Defensive swing. Nieuwenhuis strikes out. DeGrom strands 2. Brewers get a little action in the third. Come up empty, however.
And we go around Major League Baseball in our greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. And last night we told you about what Chris Sale is doing on the south side for the White Sox. Well, Jake Arrieta just continues to roll. He picks up his 19th consecutive win. Last night against the Giants, it was 7 innings for him, just 1 earned run allowed, 8 strikeouts for Arrieta, and that came at a price, though. Jason Hayward left the game after crashing into the left field wall. He will have an MRI today to determine the severity of that. And CC Sabathia, the former Brewer, picked up his 100th win as a Yankee, 6 innings and 1 earned run for him.
Good to see CC kind of reinvented himself. He went to alcohol rehabilitation this off-season. Tough time for him personally, but has been able to right the ship. We wish the best for CC Sabathia. He will always have a place in Brewers lore. Jacob deGrom, the first man up for the Mets. He rolls out, and Davies has the first out. One away for Zach. CC now in his 16th season. He came up with the Indians. The Brewers picked him up for the second half of 2008. He won 11 games, made 1 start before the All-Star break in July, and won 11 games that year. And he's been a member of the Yankees since 2009.
And what was it? His last, 3 or 4 starts with the Brewers that year? Came on 3 days rest. He wanted the baseball. Told Dale Swaim, I want to throw. I want the baseball. And that's one of the reasons why the Brewers were able to get to the postseason. Never forget that year, 2008. What a great season.
Speaking of Yankees, the former Yankee Curtis Granderson batting with 1 away.
And CC really one of the good guys in the game too. I mean, very respectful. I mean, he's a guy that will give everybody the time of day. He'll sit down and talk to you. Very humble.
Granderson pops it up, foul territory, long run, and Hill is going to run it down. Heck of a play by Aaron Hill.
Well, he does that as well as anybody, doesn't he? You've seen him make a couple of very tough plays at third base, given in foul territory. And who can forget that play he made early in the season, going back down the line, and ended up getting a double play. He's able to take his eye off the baseball a couple of different times. The wind blowing it around and still able to make the catch. Well done.
Ducking for cover in the first row over there. Good catch by Hill, right in the glove. His play earlier this season was one of the great plays of the year. Over the shoulder catch. He turned it into a double play. There's a runner tagging at third. 2 outs for David Wright. And a strike to him. Wright's been dealing with the back problems. Missed a significant chunk of the schedule last year. It's not going to get any better for Wright. It's more about maintenance these days. And he played in consecutive games before getting the day off yesterday. He was off to a pretty solid start last year, but after 8 games shut down with a hamstring injury and then later diagnosed with spinal stenosis.
Yeah. And it's pretty much day to day. He just has to get to the ballpark and tell Terry Collins how he feels. Sometimes he tries to hide it. Was it last week? Terry Collins pulled him off the field. He was in the starting lineup. He wasn't really moving around too well in pregame workouts. And
hits Allen hard into deep right, but Flores will run it down, and that will retire the side. 3 up, 3 down for Zach Davies, and he's retired 8 straight now. To the top of the 4th from Citi Field in New York, right next to LaGuardia Airport. You might be hearing the planes taking off and landing just on the other side of the highway. Jacob deGrom back to work. deGrom and the Mets trailing the Brewers 2-1. The Brewers getting a 2-run home run from Ramon Flores in the 2nd inning. And here is Aaron Hill, who started for Milwaukee. Hill, Presley, and Flores coming up.
And 9-pitch walk for Aaron Hill, his first time up. Making deGrom work a little bit. There you go. There's one.
Getting a good view of this game. deGrom missing on Hill, 3-0. deGrom has issued 2 walks. Hill was the first walk allowed. That one's in there for a strike. Mets are coming off a series where they lost 2 out of 3 to the Nationals. Beat the Brewers last night. 2-2 on this homestand. They're in good shape. They're just trying to get their offense back together. But the Mets are 5 games over 500. They are in 3rd place in their division. Washington tops the division, and then the Phillies, the surprising Phillies, are in 2nd.
Every team in that division is over 500 except for the Atlanta Braves.
Been a bad year for Atlanta. 11-30. Brewers are going to see the Braves next. They start a series with Atlanta Tuesday. Fired Freddie Gonzalez, their manager. Brian Snitker is managing that ball club now. Full count to Hill, and he lost him again, so another deep count. Aaron Hill draws his second walk off DeGrom. That's number 3 by the pitcher. Lead man on for the Brewers in the 4th.
Yep, and 74 pitches already for DeGrom. That's a lot. Brewers making him work today.
DeGrom had 50 pitches in the first 2 innings. A little more economical last inning, but 7 pitches in, does not have an out. And here is Alex Presley. A shot into right. A base hit for Presley. Hill will make the turn and head all the way to third as Presley singles sharply. He's hit the ball hard twice, and his first hit to show. First and third with nobody out to start the 4th for the Brew Crew.
Yeah, first pitch fastball at 92 miles an hour, and Alex able to turn on it, looking for it. It was supposed to be away. Watch where it ends up, right down the middle. That's a nice swing for Alex Presley. A line drive into right, and Hill able to get to third base.
So a leadoff walk followed by a single. 2 on, nobody out. And here is Ramon Flores now, who hit a 2-run homer his last time up. First home run of his major league career. DeGrom, by the way, has only allowed 3 home runs this season. Carlos Gonzalez of the Rockies homered off of him. Will Myers of the Padres, and now Ramon Flores. And he went up and got one too.
Yeah, 2-strike pitch, a fastball, 94 upstairs, and that's a nice short stroke for Flores, and knocked it out of here into that Mets bullpen. And the Brewers dugout excited until Flores got in there. Then he gave him the silent treatment for a bit.
His first career homer. He gets no accolades as he gets into the dugout. Fly ball to left. This is going to be deep enough to score the run. Conforto makes the play. Throw comes to second, and Aaron Hill will score. And Ramon Flores is putting together a terrific afternoon. His 3rd run batted in.
Yeah, that was an important at bat because you have the pitcher coming up. So if Flores doesn't get it done, the pitcher might not, probably won't, and then it's going to take a base hit by VR to drive in the run. So good job by Ramon Flores. And to knock it deep enough to score Aaron Hill.
3-1 Brewers. Now Davies showing bunt, and he'll take a strike. Davies a strikeout victim his first time up. DeGrom has 5. Davies does have a hit this year. He's 1 for 10 at the plate. And trying to bunt the runner over. That's a beauty right there. Campbell will make the play. So a sacrifice bunt follows a sacrifice fly. Presley ends up at second base. 2 gone, and the top of the order coming up.
He did that one nicely, right on the grass, and able to advance the base runner. You see the way he has that bat out in front. You know, they barrel the bat above the handle, and there's no way you can pop it up when you do that. Good job.
And it sets up VR now with a man in scoring position. The leadoff hitter turned run producer now. And that gets by Plawecki. A wild pitch from DeGrom, and over to third goes Presley.
Boy, not even close that time. A wild pitch in the best sense right there. No chance for Plawecki. I mean, that was really bad pitch by DeGrom, and now another one of those the Brewers have a run in.
There's not a lot of territory behind home plate One of the features of this ballpark. Matter of fact, if you sit in the front row behind home plate, you are 5 feet closer than the pitcher is to home plate.
So 55 feet away?
I think that's about it. Or thereabouts.
55 feet 6 inches.
I stepped it off earlier.
Did you? Yeah, plus you got that brick wall back there, and that ball has a tendency to bounce right back to home plate.
VR breaks his bat, little flare, that's going to fall, a base hit. In to score is Presley. And the Brewers keep it going here. Another run is in. The second of the inning. They've had two two-run frames. 4-1 Brew Crew.
Well, VR able to fight that one off. A fastball up and in, and pulls the hands in and dumps it out into left field. And well, the wild pitch assured that run would score. Presley able to score the Badger Mutual Insurance run here in the 4th inning.
Jonathan VR with his second hit. He's 2 out of 3. Now a run batted in. 13 ribbies for the year for the Brewer shortstop. Scooter GENNETT, and that's close. Wow. DeGrom with a very good move.
He can't get another inch off the bag. That's a big lead that VR gets.
VR does lead the National League in steals with 14, but he also leads the National League in times caught stealing. 6.
Yeah, 14 for 20 and very close.
But a good call over there. The Brewers have hung 4 on DeGrom, the most runs he has allowed this season. Came in with an ERA of 2.50. There goes VR. GENNETT, a swing and a foul.
Had it stolen. Had a great jump.
Back he goes.
He has the enthusiasm and the energy of Carlos Gomez.
He does.
I mean, he really does. I mean, he provides a lot of good positive energy for the Brewers in that batting order. Just loves to play the game. You can just see it in his eyes.
GENNETT, a high fly ball to right. Easy enough for Granderson. And that will retire the side. But the Brewers have success again. They scored twice. RBIs from Flores and VR. 4-1 Brewers. Lead at 4-1 as we head to the Mets half of the 4th. Colin Cowherd now on FS1. You can check him out, The Herd with Colin Cowherd. weekdays at 11 a.m. Central. It's only on FS1. Check them out. Zach Davies staked to a 4-1 lead. He will face Michael Conforto, YOENIS Cespedes, and Neil Walker to start it for the Mets. Davies has retired 8 straight. Gave up a couple of hits in the first inning. One of those was a homer. Curtis Granderson led the game off offensively for the Mets with a home run. And so far, the only blemish on Davies' line. He has struck out 3. All of those came in the first inning. Conforto doubled off of Davies in the first. Had a 1-out double. It's been the last base runner for New York. "23 years young and looks like he's about 14." And he uses that to his advantage.
Yeah, but pitches like he's 30. A lot of poise out there and has a lot of confidence in himself. Has done a very good job establishing fastball much better his last couple of starts. Like that right there, 90 miles an hour. Appears a lot quicker to a hitter when he's got that good changeup and curveball working.
Now, when the Brewers acquired Davies from the Orioles in the Gerardo Parra deal, I think one of the greatest compliments you could pay a player is when the organization that is trading you, that you're leaving, gives a scouting report, and the first thing on their list was competitor. He's one of the great competitors in their organization. Brewers have had eyes on him for a few years. Scouting director Zach Manassian and his team of scouts, as they were starting to make deals last year, trading away pieces. And Davies was one of the big targets. And there was a fit with the Orioles with Gerardo Parra, so they made the deal. There's a shot, but the shift is on, and out there in the grass is GENNETT, and he makes a play for the out. First time Davies had been in a 3-ball count today.
And you like the way a competitor will do that. I mean, a full count, you've got a 3-run lead, and he gave Conforto a pitch to hit. He hit it hard, but he got an out. Instead of trying to be too cute on the corners and risk walking a batter, went right after him.
So with 1 away, here is YOENIS Cespedes. I thought his at-bat in the first inning pretty well defines Zach Davies and what he's about. Davies had given up a home run, and then he had just given up a double, a very hard hit ball. Now he's facing Cespedes, who's as hot as any Met and as hot as any hitter in the big leagues, actually. And he struck him out, and he really carved him up. That one got in on his hands. Flores will watch this one bounce. They had a shift on, so Cespedes able to dump one into shallow right field. A 1-out single and the first base runner for the Mets since the first inning.
Yeah, that's just about the only way that Cespedes is going to go to the opposite field when he gets jammed. When he really doesn't try to. You can see Lucroy setting up inside. Good pitch. But you see Scooter Gennett, he's on the shortstop side of the bag. There's no way he can get there. That would ordinarily be a relatively easy out for Scooter.
So Cespedes is aboard. And here is Neil Walker. Found out a little more on YOENIS Cespedes. Remember the play last night on the strike him out, throw him out, where Cespedes basically just gave up on the play as the base runner. He's been very hesitant to slide. He injured his leg catching a foul ball into the stands, and he is extremely banged up, and sliding feet first aggravates that to the point where they might have to take him out of the lineup, have to take him out of the game. So he's only sliding head first, and he was out by a mile and just decided, I'm just going to take the out right here.
I guess if I'm the Mets, I don't have him steal. He's too valuable.
Agreed. That was the next point. Why have him run? Walker was at the plate. I guess they were assuming that Walker wasn't going to strike out. You figured he was going to put the ball in play, but he didn't. And it was a strike him out, throw him out. Cespedes on the move here with the pitch in the dirt. No slide necessary. He'll advance on a wild pitch.
And I just tried to put a little bit too much spin on that last one and spiked it in front of home plate. You catcher, when you do that, I mean, you just got to throw yourself in front of it and hope for the best. And it gets him in the mask. There's nothing you can do about that, and kind of gets off to the side.
So it takes the Brewers out of a double play opportunity. Runner in scoring position, and Walker swings and misses. Down he goes. And Davies has him barking on his way back. He gets that reaction a lot.
Well, he spiked the curveball on a 2-strike pitch, and then he goes right back to the changeup, and that's perfectly located. That pitch down and away with 2 strikes. You can see Walker upset with himself. Davies always seems to have guys walking back saying, I'm going to get him next time.
That was a great scene last game against the Padres with Melvin Upton. If you don't remember that game, Melvin Upton, who's having a pretty good year for San Diego. Matter of fact, he had a walk-off last night, and he struck out in his first at-bat against Davies, and then we tracked him all the way in. Our director, Mark Vittorio, had the image of Melvin Upton saying, "Oh, I'm going to get him next time. I'm going to get him next time." He didn't get him next time. He popped him up. There's a shot, base hit in the right field. Cespedes on his way home. Flores' throw is late, and a run is in. It's a 2-out RBI single by Cabrera, and the Mets score to make it 4-2.
Yeah, missed on the first pitch to Cabrera with a curveball, and then came back and gave him something to hit this time. Actually, it was a changeup that was up in the strike zone, and Cabrera had to wait back and able to just sneak it in between Carter and GENNETT. So the wild pitch comes back to haunt the Brewers. Cespedes gets the second and scores on the single.
4-2 Brew Crew as we play with 2 outs here in the 4th inning. And now Cabrera at first. There have been 2 wild pitches in this game, and they have both led to runs. DeGrom had a wild pitch that advanced Alex Presley in the 4th inning. He was able to score on that base hit by VR. Two outs. Eric Campbell at the plate. If there's such a thing as an everyday backup, it's this guy. Eric Campbell. He either backs up right at third or he backs up Duda at first, and he's been playing just about every day with those two dealing with back problems. On the ground to GENNETT. Scooter's got it, and that will retire the side, but the Mets get a 2-out RBI single from their shortstop Cabrera. 4-2 Brew Crew. We head to the 5th from Queens. Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Hupy and Abraham. 1-800-800-5678. Hupy and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. The fast-paced life of New York City, Grand Central Station. How many of those people did you bump into the other day, Rock?
Yeah, 3 or 4 of them.
Jonathan Lucroy leads off, swings at the first pitch, and a pop-up to second. DeGrom, whose pitch count is very high right now, able to get an out on the first pitch of the 5th inning.
I mean, is it possible to walk around downtown Manhattan without bumping into people?
For a guy who's 6'3", 250.
And it really doesn't make any difference if you say you're sorry.
You got yelled at last night on the way out of the ballpark.
I did. I just grazed a gentleman who was walking with a cane. He wants to beat me with it. Wasn't my fault. I got pushed into him.
Oh, so funny. There's nothing quite like riding on the subway with Rock. It's always a great experience. Everybody like pressed into him because you like people in your close spaces.
Yeah, I don't like people getting in my space.
Chris Carter takes a strike from DeGrom.
That's something you have to get used to, you know, being around here. But it is exciting walking the streets. You got to be heads up, that's for sure.
There's a lot of adventure to walk on the streets of New York City. DeGrom struck out Carter on that same pitch back in the 1st inning. That high fastball. They found a hole. See if Carter could make the adjustment.
Well, they make mistakes in there, though. That's what you hope to get a mistake. Up and in, down and away. Pitching inside is a difficult thing.
There it is, the 7 train bringing Rock into the ballpark today. That's a beautiful shiny train there. Rock bumped into a guy yesterday, as he mentioned. Just grazed him. Said, "I'm sorry." He goes, "Oh yeah, I bet you're sorry."
You in your suit.
You in your fancy suit.
I did. I apologized 10 times. He wouldn't accept it.
A swing and a miss, and down goes Carter for out number 2. I mean, you know, you look like an executive in your fancy suit.
You know, I think you pushed me into him.
I did not.
I think you did. You did.
Just happened to graze right on by.
You did one of these, and I went right into the gentleman. You know, I felt bad.
You look like a guy who comes out of a bank and somebody we should be mad at, you know, when we're trying to get out of a stadium. It's great. I love it.
You in your suit. I love it here, though.
Yeah, for sure.
I do. I like being in New York. It's a great ballpark. There's that buzz here in New York City that you don't get many other places.
It's a 7-mile trip from Midtown Manhattan to Citi Field. And it took us 1 hour and 15 minutes to get here yesterday. Much better today. It was only 30 minutes to go 7 miles.
Saturday, not much traffic.
It's perfect. There's the city.
Yesterday we took the tunnel. Today we took the bridge.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Queensboro Bridge.
Okay. I knew there was something different. Neuenhuis fouls it away.
See, a lot of folks take the Queensboro Bridge because there's not a toll associated with that.
Oh, I see.
So during the week, you know, the tunnel's the way to go, and normally.
I'm always amazed at the bus drivers that drive the teams around. These guys are incredible, talented artists that navigate the streets of New York City. As Neuenhuis strikes out, DeGrom comes back with a good inning. 3 up, 3 down, 2 more strikeouts on his line.
Brewers have a 4-2 lead, and our Milwaukee Brewers Community Involvement Initiative, known as the Community Achievers Award, will recognize residents throughout the state of Wisconsin each month during the season for displaying extraordinary efforts in their community. All adults and school-aged children throughout the state of Wisconsin are eligible to participate. To nominate someone for the Community Achievers Award, you can visit brewers.com and click on the Community Foundation tab.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Here we go to the Mets half of inning number 5. And the Mets catcher, Kevin Plawecki, will lead off. 8, 9, and 1 due up for New York. They just scored in the 4th inning. Asdrubal Cabrera had a 2-out RBI single. Mets got their first run with a home run by Granderson in the 1st inning. The Brewers have had 2 two-run innings. Lucroy hits the deck. That follow through by Plawecki got him. Bat broke. Davies got in on his hands, and the barrel ends up getting Lucroy in the back of the head.
Now, danger when you sit inside. Check it out. Yep, got him and the umpire. Got Lucroy in the back of the head. Here comes the bat. He gets Lucroy, and then home plate umpire Adrian Johnson gets it.
Lucroy had a concussion late in the year last year. Always a little anxious when something like that happens. He has a brand new mask this year. Tries to take a little bit of that starch out of those foul balls.
A little heavier, a little bit better cushion when he gets hit by a foul tip. Now, these new catcher's masks are so light. Not a lot of weight to them, and when you get a direct shot, it really gives you a jolt. The bigger, heavier the mask, the less it's going to give you that impact.
2 balls, 2 strikes to the Mets catcher. Inside again, he turns on it, pulls it foul.
I brought one of my old catcher's masks to the ballpark last year. We probably wanted to check it out.
Yeah.
And thinking about using it, but it was, I would guarantee, over two times heavier than the one he was using last year. I mean, it was that heavy. I see, you got to have a big head to be able to hold that one up.
There's a little change up, a roller to Hill, and he'll make the play for the out. So a ground out for Davies. And we have a pinch hitter, so DeGrom's done, Rock, after 5 innings. High pitch count today,
yeah,
7 strikeouts.
Brewers made him work. They did. High pitch count early in the game, and they just kept grinding away. 100 pitches in 5 innings. DeGrom normally able to eat up more innings than that, so a short start for him.
Half of those pitches came in the first 2 innings. Ramon Flores with the 2-run home run in the 2nd that gave the Brewers the lead. Brewers got 2 more in the 4th. RBIs from Flores and VR. Ramon's driven in 3 runs today with a sac fly and a 2-run shot.
Yeah, 2nd time this year that DeGrom's only gone 5 innings.
Alejandro De Aza will bat, pinch hitting for DeGrom. Early pinch hit appearance for the Mets. One of the reasons the Mets bullpen has been so good is because the Mets starters have been so good. Not having to log a lot of innings, comparatively speaking. That's Hansel Robles loosening in the Mets pin.
Yeah, 2 pretty good bullpens going at it in this series. You know, the Mets coming in this series had the best bullpen earned run average, and you know, the Brewers over the last couple of weeks, last month, have been very good. Although the Brewers bullpen has been used a lot more than the Mets.
And 2 extra inning games in that grouping as well. Craig Counsell, before the game, we had a chance to visit with him in his office, and he was pouring through some of the analytics on his relievers. He wouldn't share exactly what he was looking at, but he has some concerns about usage. He is very anxious to get Corey Knebel and Will Smith back to try to ease up on that bullpen usage. He said last night there were 4 available relievers. And he was able to get to the end of the game. And it was a close game. It was a 3-2 Mets win. Very well contested, very well played. And even though the Brewers fell behind, it was just, after Peralta, it was just Torres and Chris Capuano from that middle relief core. Capuano was able to go 2 innings last night.
Thornburg and Blazek have been used a lot. Jeremy Jeffress got a day off. That was Thursday when Thornburg was able to get the save.
Full count to De Aza, the pitch hitter. Slaps one foul down the left field line. That was close. There's hardly any room down there. It's very similar to Miller Park in its structure down both lines.
About 4 feet between the line and the stands over there. Even less over there by the tarp. And foul by about a couple of feet.
So De Aza will see another 3-2 pitch. Way inside, almost hit him. Going to be a 1-out walk issued by Davies, his first walk allowed of the game. And now the Mets are going to bring the tying run to the plate. They go back to the top of the order. Curtis Granderson. Let's check our Carsoup.com trivia with Granderson on his way up. Which 4 current Brewers also played for the Mets? You know, Neuenhuis is a former Met, but there are 3 others. Curtis Granderson, with his leadoff homer in the first inning, now has 39 career leadoff home runs. Only Jimmy Rollins has more among active players. Rollins, the former Philly and the former MVP, is with the White Sox again this year. 15 of those leadoff home runs for Granderson have come as a Met. 15 of the 39. And it was a no-doubter. First batter of the ball game for New York offensively, and Granderson rips one off the facing of the second deck.
Yeah, tried to sneak a fastball in on the inside part of the plate, missed it, but Granderson didn't.
And now he's the tying run. There's a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. Granderson has 1 year left on his deal after this year. Originally signed a 4-year, $60 million deal with the Mets. Little half swing roller right to Carter, goes to second, and a double play. What a play. Chris Carter steps on the bag and fires a strike to VR. Davies out of the inning. The roundabout double play, had to get the tag on him as he took the force away. Beautiful play by Carter, perfect strike, and the inning ends and the Brewers still lead by 2.
back and better than ever with 50% off select tickets plus $4 beers, $1 hot dogs and sodas, and $4 nachos. That's Friday, May 27th through Monday the 30th as the Brewers host the Reds and Cardinals over Memorial Day weekend.
Looking forward to getting back to Miller Park. The Brewers will have the Reds and the Cardinals. First, they finish with the Mets, and then it's off to Atlanta Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. New pitcher rock is Hansel Robles out of the New York bullpen. DeGrom is out, and a rare poor start for Jacob DeGrom here at Citi Field.
Yeah, Robles having a good season so far this year, coming off a good year for him a year ago. 57 appearances last year and a 367 earned run average. We mentioned that Terry Collins has no problem going to that bullpen. These guys have been pretty good.
At the plate for Aaron Hill, presented by Blaze Pizza. He's had 2 terrific at-bats, both resulting in a walk. In the second inning, he drew a 9-pitch walk, and then it was a 7-pitch walk in the fourth. Big part of DeGrom's high pitch count here today, which chased him after 5. We mentioned when we hit the air DeGrom's success against the Brewers. His career ERA 1.38 in 4 starts. So by far the best showing the Brewers have had against the former Rookie of the Year.
I did notice that the velocity down a little bit for DeGrom. He was throwing 92 to 94. He got maybe a couple up around 95, but that's what they were saying when we got to New York here yesterday, saying his velocity down a little bit.
Full count. Robles deals, and it's up and in, and Aaron Hill draws his 3rd walk of the afternoon. He has scored on the first 2 occasions, and it's a leadoff walk here in the 6th. Just to give you an idea of how good DeGrom has been at home in his career. His career earned run average is 179 here prior to today. And the 4 runs the Brewers scored off DeGrom today, the 2nd most he's ever allowed in this ballpark. He had allowed 6 runs against the Marlins last September. But the Brewers able to put 4 on DeGrom in 5 innings today.
It has been a pesky offense for the Brewers. I mean, they just keep staying on the attack. I mean, they're a patient team, but they've been playing some pretty good baseball as of late. They might not win every game, but they have been in every game, like last night, for instance. I mean, that was a good baseball game. Just didn't have enough to, take the lead. But pitching was good. They played good defense, and a 1-run loss.
Alex Presley has a single today. He singled and scored in the 4th inning. Presley's been getting a lot of playing time with Ryan Braun out. Sophia reported earlier that Ryan Braun could be back in the starting lineup tomorrow for the Brewers. He's been out with a stiff back, had back surgery this offseason.
It took BP today with the team, batting practice on the field, and looked pretty good. I would imagine he'd be available to pinch hit. If he's going to, the plan is to start him tomorrow. He's got to be able to pinch hit today.
Runner at first. Presley takes a ball high, and it's 3-2. So a couple of deep counts for the Brewers against Hansel Robles to start his day. Presley lined out to left in the 2nd inning off DeGrom, hit it hard, and then he ripped one to right, a bullet to right field in the 4th. 2 good at-bats today for him. Runner goes, and a swing and a miss. Hill is in there with a steal. Presley strikes out, but Aaron Hill steals the base.
And not a very good throw by Kevin Plawecki. It looked like if he made a good throw, he's going to be out at 2nd. Kind of a one hopper. It kind of died in that grass out there. Pretty good jump. Not a big lead, but not a very good throw that time by Plawecki. And Aaron Hill able to steal it.
Now the Mets are without their starting catcher Travis d'Arnaud, and it is really showing up in the running game right now. Opponents are stealing at will against Mets catchers, and you got to put a lot of that on Mets pitchers as well. We've seen some big jumps already. Does not appear there is an emphasis in holding runners. Ramon Flores on the first pitch, foul territory, right runs out of room.
And some guys, you know, out there, as good as this pitching staff has been, that's one thing that, you know, they haven't been able to do. It really hasn't cost them a lot of runs, but you let a guy steal a base, he's in scoring position, you eliminate the double play. The Mets don't turn many double plays, maybe because of that. Some guys feel as though if they think too much about the guy at first, or they try and speed up their delivery, it's going to affect the way they pitch, which could be the case.
Flores has a chance to drive in another run. He's been the big run producer today for the Brewers. Driven in 3. 2-run home run in the second inning. His first career homer. And 126 plate appearances prior to that home run off DeGrom in the second. Then he had a sac fly in the fourth. Fan below us trying to get the "Let's Go Mets" chant started. He's getting a lot of angry looks. There's a swing foul tip by Flores. And now he's given up.
A lot of people ignoring him too.
A lot of Mets fans not ready to join in just yet. They haven't earned a "Let's Go Mets" chant today.
Not yet today.
Hill's at second. One man gone. The 2-2 pitch. And he fouls it away.
Gotta like the effort though.
Yeah. There's a big loud voice. He's sitting right below us.
You know we haven't seen yet in this series?
What's that?
The hot dog guy.
Oh yeah, the Nathan's hot dog guy.
The guy that barks?
The guy that barks. Right. He's trying. He's doing his best, but nobody's following. Not even his friends. Flores hanging tough. Yeah, the old Nathan's hot dog guy used to come around and he would bark like a loud, big loud dog.
Yeah.
You could hear him throughout the stadium, and he'd walk right under our booth here. We just turned the mic over to him. Wonder where he's been. There's a swing and a miss. Flores strikes out.
A lot of fastballs, and he got Presley and Flores, 2 lefties. Yep, 94 with a fastball. A lot of hittable pitches for Ramon Flores. That one outer half, swings right through it.
4-seam fastball upstairs to get him. And now it'll be up to Davies. Well, that strikeout has inspired the friend of the super fan as Davies pops it up, and that will retire the side. Where one starts, another will follow. Super fans get what they want. Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Miller Lite, the original light Pilsner. Cheers, it's Miller time. And by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. Lady Liberty, just a few miles from our location here in Queens at Citi Field, the home of the Mets. It's the Brewers and the Mets, Saturday afternoon baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And don't forget, you can catch the games on television. If you can't do that, you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take Fox Sports Wisconsin and Brewers baseball with you wherever you go. Zach Davies back on the mound to start his 6th inning. He leads it 4-2. Brewers with a pair of 2-run innings. 2-run homer in the second by Ramon Flores, and then 2 more runs scoring in the 4th. Mets got a single run in the first on a Granderson homer, and then Cabrera had a 2-out RBI single in the 4th inning. So Davies going to work on David Wright. 2, 3, and 4 in the Mets order: Wright, Conforto, and Cespedes. Key inning for Zach Davies here in the 6th. Well, for years, David Wright locked down that number 3 spot in the Mets batting order. The most often used 3-hole hitter by Terry Collins this year has been Michael Conforto. Cespedes and Wright have some time in that spot as well, but you can see the transition of the Mets and their premier hitter in the lineup. Michael Conforto, the young lefty, has taken over that spot. He hit a 2-run home run last night that proved to be the game winner.
Yeah, one of the reasons David Wright just not able to stay in the lineup on an everyday basis, and you'd like to be able to have your 3-4 hitters in there every day. That's what they, the missing Ryan Braun does to the Brewers batting order.
A called strike 3. Davies rings the bell on David Wright, and strikeout number 5 for Zach.
I think he had him looking for a changeup. He threw a few changeups, but Zach Davies, who talked about using all quadrants of the strike zone his last time out, he's been doing it again today. I mean, catching the outside corner, up in the strike zone, down and in. He's been able to work both sides of the plate extremely well. He's got the curveball working. He just started David Wright with a good curveball. Changeup, he got Neil Walker. So another good performance by Zach Davies. His last 4 have been pretty good.
And now there is some barking coming from that Mets dugout. Hitting coach Kevin Long is standing up for his 2-hole hitter, David Wright, and Long was giving it to the home plate umpire, Adrian Johnson. The feisty Mets hitting coach, formerly of the New York Yankees. Now Conforto takes a curveball low. Kevin Long has been ejected from this game, by the way.
Can't argue balls and strikes, even from long distance.
I talked to Kevin before the game. He is a very good hitting coach, and he is well respected. And I think one of the things that players like the most about him, he has great tools. Obviously, he's a mechanics guy, but he will fight for them at every turn. He's not afraid to get ejected. He gets ejected a few times a year, and this will be one of them here today.
Yeah, it's tough to help your hitters when you're, in the clubhouse. But I guess what you mean. I mean, he's not a passive guy. He doesn't sit back and wait for things to happen. He likes to be proactive.
Well, Terry Collins carries the same reputation. Davies issues the walk. Conforto is aboard for YOENIS Cespedes. Quick trip to the mound by Lucroy and Aaron Hill. And you got to be very careful to YOENIS Cespedes. He represents the tying run. Second in the National League in home runs. He's tied with Carter. Those two are one behind Nolan Arenado of the Rockies. First ball swinging. That is a foul ball. Close.
No, not by much, is it? Third base umpire Jim Wolf figured it didn't go over the bag in fair territory. And agreed, it didn't. Well, what you like is that Aaron Hill didn't assume it was going to be a foul ball.
Blaine Boyer getting ready in the bullpen. Runner at first, one man out. Cespedes at the plate. Count evens at a ball and a strike. Cespedes had a little flare single to right. Davies got an inside corner fastball on his hands, but he muscled it for a base hit. First time up, Davies struck out Cespedes. He got him looking on a changeup. Lucroy sets up inside. And that almost hit him. 2-1 to count. Davies making his 7th start of the year. His 13th career start. He had 6 starts for the Brewers last year after he was traded from Baltimore and brought up to the big leagues. A wave and a miss.
Yeah, out of the strike zone. He didn't mean to. Let's see if he wants to go back to that changeup. He punched him out his first time up on a good changeup, down and in. That was a fastball up, dangerous pitch to this guy. Foul tip.
Evens the count at 2-2. And Cespedes down the left field line. That is a fair ball, home run, and we are tied.
How strong is that guy, huh? He was out in his front foot on a changeup and kept the bat in the hitting zone long enough to muscle it right down that left field line. Check this out. What do? Not a bad pitch. He's out on his front foot, able to keep it fair and knock it out of here. Right down that line. Goodness.
Brand new ball game. Not a bad changeup, but Cespedes.
Look at the way he's able to keep that bat in the hitting zone by letting go of that top hand and muscles it, literally muscles it out of the ballpark.
It's impressive how he was able to keep it fair as well. That ball had very little hook on it. So that's going to be the end of the day for Zach Davies. He hung in there tough, but he gives up a big 2-run homer. The walk hurt him. And he will exit with a no decision today. We're tied at 4. Zach Davies gives up a 2-run home run to YOENIS Cespedes. All tied at 4 now. It's going to be Blaine Boyer out of the Milwaukee bullpen.
Yeah, too bad for Zach Davies. I mean, he left the changeup up just enough for Cespedes to knock it out of the ballpark. Boyer has not allowed a run over his last 8 appearances. That covers 9 1/3. He pitched 2 scoreless innings against the Cubs on Wednesday.
You can close the book on Davies. 5 1/3, 4 runs all earned, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, and a no decision for him today. Takes DeGrom off the hook as well. DeGrom lasted just 5 innings, allowed 4 earned runs as well, 3 walks and 7 strikeouts. 1 gone in the inning. Neil Walker, the batter for the Mets, and he slaps onto the opposite field, a base hit. Presley will cut it off. That will hold Walker to a single. So the last 3 hitters for the Mets: walk, homer, single. And the go-ahead run is aboard for New York in the 6th.
That's just a good piece of hitting by Neil Walker on a fastball away. Just served it out there in the left field. Didn't try and pull. You knew Walker was glad Davies was out of the ball game. Davies made Walker look bad up at the plate a couple of times.
The 6th inning was the trouble inning for the Brewers yesterday. Michael Conforto hit a 2-run homer in the 6th yesterday to give the Mets the lead for good. And 2 runs in the 6th today. Now Cabrera, who has an RBI single today. That came with 2 outs in the 4th. A pop-up. Going to stay playable. Lucroy with the mask off will make the catch for out number 2.
Yeah, it can't be flat-footed today. The wind's blowing and swirling that baseball around a little bit, and Lucroy able to make the catch. A little bit wobbly, but able to haul it in. You see the wind, blowing from right to left.
So 2 gone. Boyer gets his first out, and he will face Eric Campbell now. And a shot back up the middle, base hit for Campbell. It just missed Boyer on the mound, and then GENNETT with a great effort and a full-on dive couldn't quite come up with it. So Campbell is aboard with his first hit of the game, and now 2 men are on.
Yeah, not sure it would have mattered. I don't think even if Scooter gets that ball in his glove, he's going to have a play. Because Vio is nowhere close. He was pulled around in the hole. And GENNETT just under his glove and into center field, but Walker has to stay at second base.
That's threatening from the bottom of their order again. 2 on, first and second for Kevin Plawecki. Got the pitcher spot due up next. And a strike to Plawecki. Plawecki getting the start behind the plate today. Travis d'Arnaud is on the disabled list. We saw Rene Rivera catch last night. He's the 3rd catcher. And Boyer gets ahead of Plawecki quickly, 0-2. Boyer's come on, giving up 2 hits. Slow roller, Aaron Hill, nice easy hop, and the side is retired. However, YOENIS Cespedes, a 2-strike changeup, and he delivers it into the bleachers in left field. We're tied at 4.
on Saturday, June 18th, as Kenny Chesney brings his Spread the Love Tour to Milwaukee, featuring special guests Miranda Lambert, Little Big Town, and Old Dominion. Reserve your spot today at Brewers.com/Chesney.
That'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Miller Park will be packed for that one. New ball game now, 4-4. We're all tied. As we go to the 7th inning, Jonathan VR will lead off. Hansel Robles will continue on the mound for the Mets. He came on last inning. DeGrom went 5. Robles walked the first batter he faced and then retired the next 3 with a couple of strikeouts. And now he'll deal with the top of the order. VR, GENNETT, and Lucroy coming up. Well, what an impact player YOENIS Cespedes continues to be. There just aren't many hitters like him. That's why the Brewers are so anxious to get Ryan Braun back in the lineup. The kind of guy that changes the lineup just by his presence alone. And when those guys are hitting like Cespedes is right now, it's tough to pitch around them. VR into center, hit well. Cespedes plays deep and will run it down.
It just has a different vibe to it when Ryan Braun is in there and you have Cespedes swinging the bat well. Takes the pressure off of everybody else. And things just seem to go a lot smoother. Hopefully Ryan Braun is going to be in that lineup very soon, maybe tomorrow. I would imagine you're going to see him maybe pinch hit today. But Cespedes is a guy that can make a difference even in the outfield. I mean, with his throwing arm and the way he covers ground. Not too many have a better throwing arm than Cespedes out there in the outfield.
Scooter Gennett with a big swing. He fouls it back. I wasn't sure if Cespedes, you knew he was going to be a star player, an elite player. You just didn't know if he was going to go to that next level of superstar, which he has, especially after that run last year that he had with the Mets. He's bounced around a lot. He's from Cuba. He signed a long-term deal with the A's. That was a big surprise when Oakland was able to land Cespedes. They traded him to Boston. Boston ended up flipping him to Detroit, and then Detroit had him for half a season before they traded him to the Mets last year. Swing and a miss. GENNETT strikes out. Robles has his 3rd K, and he's now retired 5 in a row after walking the first batter he faced.
And got Scooter on a couple of changeups. Got to hit him with a fastball, and then a couple of changeups to put him away. Good location. Look at the movement going away, just barely off the outside corner. With 2 strikes, you got to chase it.
So Lucroy now. And strike 1. Getting ahead with a breaking ball. Robles trying to give Terry Collins 2 scoreless innings to bridge the gap between DeGrom and his late inning relief. Short start by DeGrom, surrendering 4 runs in 5 innings. One ball, 1 strike. And Lucroy was a little late, and it's popped up. There's a lot of foul territory here, and that'll end up in the photographer's well. Excellent bail, ma'am. Yeah, when in doubt, use your equipment.
And make sure you cover that stuff. It's expensive.
So Lucroy now in a hole 1 and 2. Slings that fastball in. Lucroy able to foul it off. Jonathan's found the power stroke this month. We mentioned Carter's 8 May home runs. Leads the National League, 2nd in all of baseball. Well, Lucroy has 6 home runs for the season. They've all come in May. He'd love one right here to break the 4-4 tie. And a swing and a foul again. He just got a piece.
Yeah, same pitch, a little different location, but 94. Robles has really good movement on that fastball. He's got a good two-seamer. Takes enough off that changeup to get the hitter out in front. You see the way he gets on the side of it, and you're going to get that late movement as it gets to the hitting zone, and Lucroy just barely able to get a piece of it.
Stays alive. Jonathan looking for his first hit of the game. In the air, right field. Granderson's got a long way to go toward that wall, and a foul ball. Granderson plays those walls about as well as anyone. He knows exactly when to slide.
Yeah, that's the way to play it. You know, once you get into foul territory, you see a lot of Miller Park when you don't have a lot of room between the line and the wall. Guys bust it over there and then slide to protect themselves and give yourself a little extra time to be able to make a catch.
Lucroy facing the big strikeout pitcher, Hansel Robles. 4-4 tie, 7th inning. Oh, he's hanging tough. Robles has been a hot pitcher for the Mets. He's only given up the 1 run in his last 12+ innings. He's got a ton of strikeouts this year as well, averaging over a strikeout per innings pitched. He's got 3 of them today in his inning and 2/3. Another 1-2. Lucroy breaks his bat, little flare into right center field, and Cespedes will run it down. He's doing it all today. YOENIS Cespedes tied the game with a homer. Takes a hit away from Lucroy as he turned on the Jets to make the play in right center. 3 up, 3 down. The Brewers go in order. 4-4 game, stretch time in New York. The Mets are coming up. Caught up here as we head to the bottom of the 7th inning. It started with a leadoff homer for the Mets. Curtis Granderson with his 8th home run of the year. It was 1-0 New York quickly. And then the Brewers got him right back with a long ball. Ramon Flores, his first career Major League homer. A 2-run shot with 2 outs in the 2nd. Brewers led at that point. YOENIS Cespedes with the Brewers up 4-2. A 2-strike changeup by Davies and a 1-handed home run for Cespedes to tie this game. We're even at 4.
Yeah, incredible at bat right there. I mean, out on his front foot and able to keep it fair and hit it that far. As Carlos Torres is on here in a tie game in the 7th inning, 20th appearance for Carlos. A 3.80 earned run average, almost as many strikeouts as innings pitched. Picked up his National League Championship ring yesterday here at Citi Field.
Torres will face Juan Lagares, pinch hitting.
And Torres was in last night's ball game. Faced one batter, got him out, and that was it.
He helped clean up that 6th inning after the Mets had taken the lead with that Conforto homer. 6th inning was a trouble inning today. Cespedes 2-run homer coming in the 6th to tie this one up. Blaine Boyer goes an inning and 2/3 for the Brewers. Or I beg your pardon, 2/3 of an inning for the Brewers. Surrenders 2 hits but no runs. That is a strike, a swinging strike 3, says the crew chief Gary Cederstrom, and Lagares is out, first out of the inning.
Torres climbing the ladder on Lagares and apparently not able to hold up. Pretty close. Lagares not looking at the umpire to hope he gets a call. He didn't.
And now Granderson swinging away at the first pitch. Granderson is 1 for 3. Brewers turned a nifty double play his last time up. He hit a ground ball to first. It was a little half swing. Carter stepped on the bag and then threw to second for the second out. That ended the 5th inning. Zach Davies had a 4-2 lead going into the 6th before Cespedes homered. So no decisions for both starters today. Davies and Jacob deGrom each surrendering 4 earned runs. 2-1 the count on Granderson. Where is that pitch?
I don't know. I mean, that second pitch looked like it was a pretty good pitch. And that one even lower. I'm not sure if Fox Tracks had it.
Fox Tracks had it a touch high. So
what about number 2?
I don't know. One of those has got to be a strike, right? And back up there, and Granderson draws the walk. Well, maybe next year when they raise the strike zone, those will be.
Yeah, baseball
strikes.
talking about raising the strike zone, and I believe it when I see it.
Big discussion about, there was news yesterday about raising the strike zone to what it is in the rule book.
It's never going to go that high.
And then eliminating intentional walks, or at least throwing the 4 pitches for an intentional walk. Just make it automatic, like you see in the amateur game. 1 out base runner. Here's David Wright. Look out. Buzz the tower. Wright's had a tough day today. He's back in the lineup after missing yesterday's game. 0 for 3. Twice was called out on strikes. And Torres is behind him now, 2-0.
Yeah, messing around. He's going to get himself in trouble here. And Conforto Cespedes coming up. Not missing by much, particularly on the upper part of the strike zone.
Runner goes, swing and a miss. Lucroy's throw, the tag, not in time. Granderson steals second base, has a battle wound to show for it. But a runner in scoring position now for the Mets.
Eliminates that double play. Not a very good lead or jump Pretty good throw, a little bit high, but it looks like he beat it.
Yeah, they may take this one to a review. I think Craig Counsell wants to challenge this.
Let's check it out. Where's the tag? Does it get on the helmet? Nope. Yeah, he's out.
Yeah,
Yep, he got him. Yeah, I'll tell you, it was a little bit hasty.
It is remarkable what our cameras and replay machines can now see.
Right.
That the naked eye has not been able to see until the last couple of years.
Good job down there in the replay booth for the Brewers.
This looks like one that could be overturned.
Yeah, foot not on the bag, and GENNETT had the tag on the thigh.
Doesn't it make you think about when you see a replay like that, because of the resolution of the cameras, the high speeds we're able to shoot it frame by frame, it makes you wonder about all of those close calls in the history of baseball that have been wrong, and they have overturned this call. That was a quick, easy decision coming from down the road in Chelsea.
Well, Curtis Granderson knew it right away because he started creeping off the bag toward the dugout, and the guys know. I mean, base runners know if they're safe or out. But again, first speed, the first look we had, it looked like he was safe. But then those super slow motion cameras.
So now David Wright is up there with 2 outs, and now a 2-2 count. That had been briefly Granderson's first stolen base of the year. Still without one. He's not getting on base much.
Good thing there wasn't much of a celebration.
Didn't hold the bag up. Announced that he is the greatest of all time.
That's been done.
Ricky Henderson.
Yeah.
Still one of my favorite moments. Two-two the count. Carlos Torres trying to get through the 7th. You never know what goes into the thinking of a manager and a pitching coach in a spot like this. In a 4-4 game, different than if it's still 4-2 Brewers, you're probably seeing some combo of Blazek or Thornburg in this spot.
Right, it's been Blazek, Thornburg, Jefferson wins. But Torres has been throwing the baseball well. I mean, make no mistake. I mean, don't take anything away from him. Craig Counsell's got a lot of confidence in Carlos Torres. He's been doing a good job.
And he lost him. Well, now asking for trouble. Back-to-back walks that Granderson caught stealing looks big now. As Wright is on with 2 away, and Conforto coming up. Carsoup.com trivia. Remember the question: 4 current Brewers also played for the Mets. Neuenhuis and Carlos Torres. Did you remember Chris Capuano was a starter here? And Blaine Boyer was a Met. Boyer, Torres, and Neuenhuis all in this game. Capuano pitched 2 innings last night. Michael Conforto, dangerous bat in a spot like this. Hit the decisive home run last night. 6th inning, 2-run opposite field home run off Peralta.
Fastball away, and he drove it out of here to left field, pretty much straight away left. Big power to the opposite field.
Conforto has 7 home runs this year. It's going to end up in the seats.
Yeah, Willie Croft is so effective on the inside part of the plate. Trying to go away, got too much of it, the plate, and Conforto knocked it out of the ballpark. It was a 2-1 lead for the Brewers at the time. Brewers would end up losing 3-2.
Brewers had a 4-2 lead going into the bottom of the 6th today. Now it's 4-4. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Conforto. Count evens at 2-2 as Torres misses. Been a rough month for Conforto. Overall, he's hitting just 180 in the month of May, but he's been better over his last 9 games. Has another hit today, had a double in the first. High fly ball, right field. Sounded like it was in on his hands, and Flores will make the catch. Torres puts up a 0 in the 7th. Now we go to the 8th. Late innings, tie game. Chris Carter will lead off. Cloudy early evening here in New York. Mets tied it with a 2-run homer in the 6th. Chris Carter ready to lead off this 8th inning. And Chris Carter on the Powerball home run leaderboard with 13. Brewers are hoping to get Ryan Braun back in the lineup tomorrow. He is available to pinch hit today, said the manager, Craig Counsell. We'll see if he in fact gets an at-bat on this cool, windy afternoon. So in a 4-4 game, Rock, Terry Collins is going to go with Addison Reed, his setup man.
Yeah, we saw him in last night's ball game, a scoreless inning. He did strike out a batter. Look at the numbers for these guys. Just about every one of these relievers coming out of that bullpen. Very good numbers. 22nd appearance, more strikeouts than innings pitched.
And Carter takes a first pitch strike. Chris today has a hit. He's 1 for 3. A couple of strikeouts on his line. Hitting .248 now. Quickly 0-2 for Addison Reed.
And one of his best pitches, if not his best, is a changeup. He's got a changeup, a power slider, and throws in the mid-90s. And White Sox, Diamondbacks, now the Mets.
Mets have been pitching Carter in. Don't want to see him get the arms extended. Reed working quickly, delivers, and a strikeout. Back inside he goes. Carter is gone for out number 1.
Well, that brings us to tonight. Tonight. What is it? Tonight?
You can call it today or tonight.
It's 25 till 7. It's DeMarc's Restaurant and Bar in Racine, as I digress. If they call the Brewers by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game. And the Miller Lite beer pen, this offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin. And Miller Lite, just for the record, any game that starts after 5 o'clock is considered a night game.
Right. What about before 5 o'clock?
This is considered a day game, but we're easing into night.
The real time is evening, and you could have said tonight. I think both would have applied there. You stopped yourself.
It's all about accuracy when I can.
But after that, it was perfect. Nieuwenhuis on the ground to first. Big hop. Easy for Campbell. 2 outs. Brewers haven't been able to do much against the New York bullpen. There's been 1 walk, but the Mets relievers, Robles and now Reed, have retired 8 straight. Here's Aaron Hill, who's been aboard all 3 times today via the walk. He was the last Brewer base runner back in the 6th inning.
You know, that ground ball by Nieuwenhuis, the first ground ball out for the Brewers today, except for that sacrifice bunt by Davies. It's been fly balls, pop-ups, and strikeouts.
A little bit of rain falling here. You see Tyler Thornburg loosening in the bullpen. Hill into right center, a base hit. So a 2-out single for Aaron Hill, and the Brewers put the go-ahead run on. Needing a base runner. Hill's had a terrific day. 3 walks and a single.
Yeah, hung a breaking ball that time, and Hill able to stay back on it and hit it hard into center field. You see the way it stays up in the zone, the slider, and Hill with a base hit.
We'll see if the Brewers can take advantage now. Here's Alex Presley. Presley singled and scored in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 3. He's got a little pop. Not a big guy, but he can hit him. We had a big cut. Fouled it back. Now he's down 0-2 on Addison Reed. Brown's crew at the ready.
The tarp still has the cover on it.
The light rain falling. Crowd trying to help out Reed. No balls, 2 strikes. 1-2 now. Looking ahead to the New York 8th inning. CESPEDES will lead off. Then Walker and then Cabrera. Brewers need a big hit. Mets outfielders are deep, trying to take away an extra base hit that would allow Hill to score. 2-2. Look at Granderson in right field.
Very deep.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Presley hanging tough. He's got the count full now.
And now Aaron Hill is going to get a head start. Find a gap. Figure that Aaron's going to be able to score.
Full count, 2 outs. Hill goes. Presley fouls it away.
I always tell the outfielders that are comfortable going back on a baseball. Apparently Curtis Granderson not one of them.
If it's going to be over his head, it's going to be a home run.
The other guys are pretty much normal depth.
3-2 pitch. Down and in. Ball 4. They ask if he goes. He did not. And Presley with a walk. Impressive at bat by Alex Presley. Suddenly the Brewers have 2 on. Now the go-ahead run in scoring position.
Yeah, he was down 0-2 very quickly and just at the bottom of the strike zone and just a little bit low. And Presley able to hold up. Didn't miss the strike zone by too much.
Well, it is fitting now after the Presley walk that Ramon Flores is at the plate. He's had the big game offensively. had a homer. He's driven in 3 runs of the 4 on the board. He's got a chance for another one right here. This was in the 2nd inning. His first career round tripper.
It's on top of a high fastball from DeGrom and rides it out of here. The Brewers then took a 2-1 lead. He added a sacrifice fly his next time up.
Well, Flores up there with 2 outs. A single and a walk. Well, the Mets are certainly aware that Ryan Braun is available today. He's moved into the on-deck circle. There are 2 outs, but if Flores can reach, looks like Braun's going to hit. One and 2 now. He got the first 2 men out, and he's been to 2 strikes on the last 2 hitters. But a single and a walk. 8th inning, tie game. Flores pulls it foul. Here it comes. A little bit low. 2-2 the count.
Now this is the pitch that Reed wants to get it done on here. Then we're going to go 3-2 again to give the runners a head start. So look for Flores to get something to hit here.
He took a big hack. A slider from Addison Reed, and Flores able to stay alive. He was way out ahead of it. Best arm in the outfield for the Mets is in center with Cespedes. He's got a cannon. Go ahead, run at second. We'll do it again. Another 2-2 pitch. Flores spoils another one. So Reed has not been able to put away the Brewers in this 8th inning. And now that pitch count is going to go to 27. Eighth pitch of the at-bat coming to Ramon Flores. Down and in, almost hit him. And now the count goes full. So it's been get ahead early and then try to get the hitters to chase.
Yeah, and they're not doing it. And now the runners get another head start. They get a head start, 3-2, 2 outs. Missed with a slider this time.
A base hit. If it touches the outfield grass, the Brewers are going to take the lead here. The runners will start. Hill's got a huge lead at second. Presley at first. There they go. Flores swings and misses. Down he goes. Reed with a gutsy pitch. He went back to the slider on a 3-2 pitch. And a strikeout to end it. Still tied at 4. Bottom of the 8th coming up. YOENIS Cespedes, he is ready to lead off here in the 8th inning. The Mets and the Brewers all tied at 4. The Brewers were up 4-2 until Cespedes homered in the 6th. Tyler Thornburg is the new pitcher out of the Milwaukee bullpen.
Yeah, picked up a save on Thursday against the Chicago Cubs. Jeremy Jeffress was scheduled not to pitch. He had pitched a lot. 19th appearance for Tyler and a 408 earned run average. You can see all the strikeouts, 28 punch-outs in just shy of 18 innings of work.
Thornburg has been excellent this year. And his first career save in the big league, second career save as a pro. He had not had a save since his rookie ball season in his first year in pro ball. Tries to start Cespedes with a curveball, misses upstairs. Cespedes hit a Zach Davies changeup for a 2-run homer in the 6th. Came with 2 strikes. Interesting to note that YOENIS Cespedes now has 14 home runs. 9 of them have come on off-speed pitches. That leads the major leagues.
And all but 3 of them have come to left field. You almost have to try and make this guy go the other way. I wouldn't mess around with the inside part of the plate for this guy right now, unless it's up out of the strike zone.
Cespedes has 2 hits today. He scored 2 runs. And he hits a rocket, but right at GENNETT. And there is out number 1 for Thornburg in the 8th.
Yep, it was away, but it was up. Cespedes got good wood on it. And you see where it was. It was on the corner, but up a little bit. Cespedes hits it hard, but GENNETT in a perfect spot. Barely has to move.
Doesn't give you a lot of time to react, does it, on the mound?
No.
That was whistled right by Thornburg. So 1 gone. Here comes Neil Walker now. Big curveball misses again. Walker in his career against Thornburg is 2 for 11. All those matchups till last night. Or rather, all those matchups coming as a member of the Pirates. Does have a home run. One man gone. Tie game, 4-4. We're in the bottom of the 8th at Citi Field. Another good, close game for the Brewers. They've been in a lot of these.
They have, and sometimes they're able to get over the top and win them, sometimes not. But they have they've been hanging in there for a long stretch of games.
Walker pops it foul and out of play. There's just been a light rain coming down the last couple of innings. Nothing major, maybe just more of an annoyance than anything else. But you see the rain on the helmet. Some ponchos are out. Ground ball. Carter coming in, and he'll play it fair territory. Out number 2.
Hey, keep up with the Brew Crew wherever you are with MLB.com at bat, the official app of the Brewers, featuring live broadcasts, scoring updates, breaking news, and more. Download at bat today, free for your smartphone or tablet. MLB.com at bat. We've got it on up here.
A lot of games today. Got some night games too on Fox and FS1 tonight. Protecting that national TV window. That's why we started this game at 4 o'clock local time. Good matchups tonight, though. Got the Cubs and the Giants. John Lester and Matt Cain. Rangers, Astros, Nationals, and the Marlins. Cubs broke up the Giants' 8-game winning streak with Arrieta's win yesterday. Cabrera, strike, called strike. 2-1 on the Mets shortstop. There are a few finals in. The Braves shut out the Phillies today, 2-0. Just their 12th win of the year. Brewers are going to see the Braves Tuesday, starting a 3-game series there. Twins got a win today, Rock. They beat the Blue Jays 5-3. Twins are 11-31. And a tough go for Paul Molitor and the Twins. Royals, in a close one, beat the White Sox 2-1 today. Kansas City is hovering around 500. That win today got them 2 over. They've had a down year. Swing and a miss. He got him with a curveball. Good inning for Thornburg. 3 up, 3 down with a K. The Brewers are coming up in the 9th. We're still tied at 4. On the day of the Preakness. Why the long face, Rock?
Yeah.
All tied at 4 as we go to the 9th inning. Brewers baseball this afternoon on Fox Sports Wisconsin is presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Terry Collins is going to put his closer in the game in this 4-4 tie. Jerry's Familia.
Picked up number 14 in last night's ball game.
Rain coming down with a little more intensity. Colin Walsh pinch hitting for the Brewers. Tyler Thornburg was impressive. 3 up, 3 down with a strikeout in the 8th.
Yep, threw a good curve ball to finally put Cabrera away.
Familia got the save last night and was impressive in doing so, saving a 3-2 Mets win. Mets tied it with a 2-run homer by Cespedes in the 6th. And we're still knotted at 4 as Walsh takes a ball. 2-1 to count on Colin. Anxiously awaiting his big Brewers moment. This would be one right here if he could get a hold of one or get on base.
Yeah, pulling right down that line, give the Brewers a lead.
2 balls and a strike. Familia. And Walsh fouls it back.
Had a good one to hit right there.
This is the 36th game for Colin Walsh, but most of that action is coming as a pinch hitter. He is 1 for 15 as a pinch hitter this season.
He's having a difficult time getting it going.
You got to wonder about his confidence at this point.
Seems like he's been a little bit more aggressive his last couple of at-bats. Not taking as much.
Now Familia wants to throw an inside fastball. 2-2 pitch, and it's in there. A ball, 97, but he just missed. Adrian Johnson, the home plate umpire, had a little bit of a flinch.
Yeah, he thought about it for a second. Watch the umpire. Watch him. He's thinking about pulling that arm up and just misses that inside corner. There it is right there. Not looking in.
3-2 pitch. Walsh lines it foul. Collins, a switch hitter. 300 hitter in Double-A last year in the Oakland system. He's hit at a high level. He's in the major leagues for the first time. Full count. And a call, strike 3. Down he goes.
And right back in there, this time able to catch the corner. Yeah, but he had a couple of pitches to hit early in that at bat, and you can see he was upset with himself. And especially the second strike was a good pitch to hit. He missed it, and then and then he takes that one and it had plenty of the plate. Yep, that little late movement catches plenty of the white of that plate.
An 8-pitch at bat ends in a strikeout. Back to the top of the order now. Here is Jonathan Villar. This has been a most common game for the Brewers, just like this.
Yeah, a lot of close games.
Close and late. A couple of extra inning games last week on the homestand. Played a 12-inning game against the Padres a week ago. Last Saturday had a 13-inning game against the Cubs on Wednesday night. Trying to break free for a run against the Mets closer. VR just got a piece. No balls, 2 strikes on VR, who has 2 hits, including an RBI tonight. RBI single in the 4th.
It just did get a piece of it to stay alive.
0-2. Familia delivers down and in. Mets found a very good closer last year. He'd never been in a closer's role until last season. VR into left center field, hit well. Cespedes looks up, it's off the wall, takes a big bounce. And now VR, whoa, hold it up. Good call. Stops at second. Wright has to dive.
Yeah, if he went, he would have made it, but you just can't risk it with Cespedes out there. This guy has got a hose out there in center field, and that is a very good decision to stay at second. Although in hindsight, he's sitting out there thinking that throw was off the money by about 15 feet. If he went, he would have made it. But look at this, talking about threading the needle between 2 outfielders. He does it. Cespedes a little bit too close to the wall, but look at the arm, off the mark, but a very strong arm. Good play by Wright.
It was.
He's thinking about it right there. Then he realized that's Cespedes out there.
The one time VR gets conservative, and it's a bad throw from Cespedes. You got to remember the baseball was probably wet when it got to him.
Right.
But it's a double with 1 out. Go ahead run at second for GENNETT.
Yeah, but the thing is, the rules of baseball, the unwritten rules, never make the first or third out of third. You can take the risk and make the second out of third base to get in scoring position with only 1 out, or get at the third base with 1 out. If you're going to take the chance, that would have been the time to do it.
Scooter trying to bunt for a hit. Not a bad idea with David Wright at third. Not as mobile as he once was.
And you talk about impact players, right? Cespedes, we talk about him, at the plate. I mean, there's only one reason that VR didn't try it. He knew who had that baseball in his hand and decided to stay at second base.
Brewers threatening with one away. And GENNETT takes a ball, 97 with a fastball. That ball had surprising carry on it too. VR hit it well, no question, but it almost went out. It missed a home run by just a few feet.
Man, we talked about that early in the game. The ball was carrying pretty well here today.
Scooter Gennett trying to deliver in the clutch. One man gone. Gennett right to the shortstop. Cabrera's going to third, and VR is out. That's a mistake you just can't make. So now the Brewers don't have a runner in scoring position. They're going to have to manufacture it all again with 2 outs.
Yeah, trying to be a little bit too aggressive, and you got Lucroy coming up. I mean, you just can't make those mistakes. Well, the rule of thumb, the ball is hit behind you, you take off, but that ball was hit hard, and he's an easy out at third. Now it's going to take an extra base hit, at least a double, to score GENNETT from first.
That's the way it goes, right?
Yeah.
You decide to stay at second, and then you get a bad throw from the outfield, and then when you try to be aggressive, you're thrown out. Well, see if Lucroy can pick him up. 2 outs in the inning. GENNETT at first. Lucroy, little flare, long run, Walker, and he's got it, and the inning is over. The inning died. And a runner at second and 1 out. The Brewers come up empty. Still tied at 4. We're going to the bottom of the 9th. Four 4 game, bottom of the 9th inning. Don't forget, tomorrow is the series finale. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. Chase Anderson against Noah Syndergaard. The finesse against the power. And we're on the air at 11:30 a.m. on Fox Sports Wisconsin. That'll be for Brewers Live. Jeff Grayson, your host. That's tomorrow. Brewers are hoping to put themselves in a position to win the series, but they're going to have to get this one to extra innings to do so. Michael Blazek is on to pitch the 9th.
Well, he's got the bottom 3 in the batting order to face here. Campbell, Plawecki in the pitcher spot, and Michael making his 22nd appearance, a .214 earned run average. He's given up the only the 1 home run this year. Last pitched on Thursday against the Cubs, and tossed a scoreless inning, and included a couple of strikeouts. Has not allowed a run over his last 8, or I should say 9 appearances.
Eric Campbell will lead off. Got the start today at first base for Lucas Duda. Uncertain if Duda is available to hit today. been dealing with a tight back. There's a strike. 1-1 the count. Campbell, Plawecki, the catcher, and then the pitcher spot due up after that. We'll see who Terry Collins uses off the bench.
And fourth reliever for Craig Counsell. He's got Marinez, who the Brewers have not seen yet. Chris Capuano, who threw 2 innings yesterday, and Jeremy Jeffress.
So far today, Craig Counsell has used Blaine Boyer, 2/3 of an inning from Boyer. Torres worked a scoreless 7th. Thornburg a scoreless 8th. The bullpen is not allowed a run. Jack Davies started, gave up 4 earned runs in 5 1/3. Ground ball, GENNETT is over, can't get it, base hit. Eric Campbell with his second hit, he's 2 for 4. And the Mets have the winning run at first base with nobody out.
I think that ball fooled Scooter. I think he thought he was going to be able to get to it easily, and he just scooted through that infield grass. That's a pretty good approach right here. Now watch Scooter. I think he's figuring, I'm going to make this play. Ball came up on him a little bit, hit the seam perhaps. Right there, comes up and not able to grab it, and a leadoff single.
And GENNETT angry, didn't make that play. A single for Campbell. Here's Plawecki now. Blazek trying to get a ground ball out of Plawecki. All tied at 4, 9th inning. Late drama here at Citi Field. Plawecki shows bunt, takes a curveball strike.
Yes, that's one of his best pitches, the curveball slider combination for Michael Blazek.
You don't see the sacrifice bunt much anymore from non-pitchers. No balls, a strike. And he squares early once again. Plawecki trying to get the runner over. He takes a ball.
Well, and you wouldn't early in the game with your number 8 hitter, but at this point you know that there's going to be pinch hitters coming up. You do with your 8th spot.
Plawecki does not have a sacrifice bunt this year. Squares early again. Blazek deals. And did he offer at it? He did not. That's a ball. 2-1 now.
Plawecki's going to try and bunt the ball toward first base. Chris Carter has to hold the runner. He's going to get a late start. Aaron Hill is going to be right on top of him.
Two balls and a strike. Another early square by Plawecki. And that drops in for a strike. That buckled his knees.
Even on a bunt, right?
2-2 the count.
That's a good hook. They thought it was going to be up and in, but then it broke right down the middle of the plate.
Little rain falling. Leadoff single by Campbell. Mets have the potential winning run on. 4-4 game. 2-2 the count. Blazek deals, and it's in the dirt. Ball 3. The Mets do not have a walk-off this year.
Well, is this the time for a fastball? He hasn't thrown one yet to Plawecki.
His curveball has been his best pitch, at least the one he's been able to command the best.
Curveballs and sliders. Another nail biter for Craig Counsell. It's been a common theme for this team. A lot of close games.
Brewers hoping to get this game to the 10th inning. Big pitch here, full count. Runner goes, and a swing and a foul. Yeah, Campbell was taking off. Terry Collins trying to stay out of a potential double play. It does bring in the strike him out, throw him out double play.
Yeah, and Blazek did throw the fastball.
So manager trusting his hitter to put the ball in play. Do it again. Another 3-2 pitch. Campbell stays put. Plawecki takes ball 4. 2 on, nobody out. And now Blazek is in the deep waters as Craig Counsell is on his way out to have a chat.
He's going to have a chat with his defense and try and figure out how they want to defend this possible bunt by the pinch hitter, Reynolds. First and second, nobody out. You got to figure the pinch hitter is going to be dropping down the bunt to bring the top of the order up. This is all about the defense and where everybody's supposed to go and what Craig Counsell wants them to do.
So the skipper has had his say. Mets will have a pinch hitter here against Blazek. Matt Reynolds. Reynolds just arrived to the Mets. He's got the game on the line. 2 on, nobody out. Top of the order, and Granderson due next. Reynolds shows bunt. And he bunts it foul. Reynolds just arrived to the big leagues a few days ago. His major league debut was May 17th. The last series the Mets had against Washington.
Well, the Brewers are going to take a chance and put the wheel play on. They got VR covering the bag at third. GENNETT over to first base. No play at second on this play. At least that's what they did the first attempt.
Reynolds shows bunt again, and he bunts it foul. And the crowd getting a little grumpy here at Citi Field.
Yeah, a couple of curveballs.
2 distinct schools of thought in a spot like this. Terry Collins, a bit of an old school manager trying to advance the runners. The other school is that you take 3 shots with a runner in scoring position to try to drive in the winning run. Plawecki was unable to get the bunt down. He ends up walking. And now the Brewers coming together again to make sure they're all together on a potential bunt.
I guess if you're the Brewers, you have to kind of play it safe with 2 strikes. You don't have guys moving all over the infield and have Reynolds hit a ground ball somewhere and end the game.
Corners are in. Reynolds squares early. 0-2 pitch coming, and he gets it down. And Aaron Hill will make the play. So a 2-strike sacrifice bunt. And the Mets now have the winning run at third base. A lot of pressure on the kid to bunt with 2 strikes, and he did get it down.
And he got the curveball down. That was a pretty good effort by Reynolds to get the bunt down. Now you got the top of the order up. Winning run 90 feet away. Check it out, they're running. I mean, Campbell's running. He's running on the pitch, and now that ball's popped up. That's an easy double play. A lot of risk in that play right there.
The Brewers will walk Granderson intentionally. This is one of the plays they're talking about for next year. Eliminate the 4 pitches.
I don't like it.
And just put a man on base.
No. A lot of things can happen with these 4 pitches.
And there's ball 3. It's going to load the bases for David Wright, something you would probably not consider when he was on his A game, but it makes perfect sense now. You're trying to set yourself up for a double play opportunity to get to the 10th inning.
Yeah, get a ground ball, and Wright's not very fast. Well, the outfield is going to come in. The infield is going to be a double play depth up the middle. You see how shallow the outfield is. You have to be at a depth where you can throw out a base runner at home plate.
All average arms in the outfield. Nieuwenhuis in center, Flores in right. Accurate outfield arms. Rain falling. Michael Blazek with the Citi Field crowd all on their feet, facing David Wright. Oh, and make it 1-0.
Best pitch in this inning has been the curveball. Haven't thrown too many fastballs.
David Wright walked his last time up. Blazek needs a ground ball here. And Blazek misses. 2 balls, no strikes. Blazek does have the strikeout ability. Gonna need to come back in this at bat. He's down 2-0. Wright's in the driver's seat, and oh man, almost to the wall. Great play by Lucroy, but now the count goes to 3-0, and Blazek is a ball away from a bases loaded walk to end this game.
A great play by Jonathan Lucroy to keep this game alive. In the webbing.
Well, you wonder if Wright has a green light 3-0. Probably not. He does, and he lines one into right center. A base hit, and the ball game is over. David Wright swinging away at 3-0, and the Brewers are walked off by the Mets here this afternoon. The Mets' first walk-off of the season.